All right, so in this video, we're going to go over an overview of the project and what it is that we're going to be doing. So in the project, Bitcoin has a high amount of costliness due to the electricity costs associated with producing new Bitcoin. And producing Bitcoin can't be counterfeited, or at least can't be easily faked. And this is different from fiat money or altcoins that have no supply cap, no proof of work, low hash rate, or smart group of people or companies may influence the supply. So we're going to start the project with the original paper of modeling Bitcoin value with scarcity. And then from the paper, the way to measure scarcity is with the stock to flow ratio. So the stock to flow ratio is going to be the stock divided by the flow, which would also be equal to 1 over the supply growth rate. So the growth rate of the supply of Bitcoin. So 1 over the supply growth rate. And then one of the reasons why this could potentially be a good model is the number of blocks per month can be directly queried. If you look at the paper, you can see that this does seem reasonable. And we'll go through the process and the steps of how you get to that output and show that it does seem reasonable. We'll compare it with the Gauss-Markov assumptions to see if the assumptions hold, and then alternative models. And then for this, one of the things about Bitcoin that make this good is that the stock and the flow can be directly queried. So the number of blocks and everything associated with it, you can get that data. So to start, let's go to a notebook file. And then to start the project, you want to import NumPy as NP, import pandas as PD, and all of this, you've seen all this before. Import SciPy as SP. Let's import date time. Then let's also import matplotlib. Let's say from matplotlib import pyplot as PLT. Let's import Seaborn as SNS, and we'll do the magic command so that we can see the matplotlib plots in the Jupyter Notebook. Let's set Seaborn style to dark grid. This isn't necessary. It's just a little bit more visually pleasing. And for the data is the SF Excel file on eCampus. So to import that, we'll do pd read Excel, say sf.xlsx. XLSX is the data type or the file type. Then we'll set the index column equal to date. Then to make sure it worked, we'll look at the first few rows. Looks like so we have an error. So this is actually good. Whenever you do this, if you don't specify the path of the file, you have to make sure that it is in the it is where you're working. So I'll make sure everything's there. I'm working in one folder or one folder. I'll put everything there. So now I have it. I'll run it again, and there it is. So we have the number of blocks, number of Bitcoin. The stock to flow is already calculated. Log stock to flow, log value. All of this is already calculated because this is the Excel file from the original paper. If you're going to plot this, if you're going to plot it, let's actually plot. Let's say for this cplt.plot, you're going to give it your y-axis and then the y-axis, x-axis first. So the x value would be the date. Y-axis would be the number of blocks or the price. For us, if we do data, we get that specific column. Let's do number of blocks first. We have a pandas series. We can do dot plot. So built-in matplotlib functions on a pandas series. We just do dot plot. And now we have a plot of the number of blocks or the block height over time. So the new blocks over time. So if you're going to label this, if you're going to label it for your report, you could say plt.title new blocks, and this would be the chart that you would have in the report. Then for prices, you can do the same thing. So data, and we'll get the price column. So this would give us a pandas series. And we'll do dot plot, and we'll type in for the label, we'll say historical prices. Now we have the historical prices for Bitcoin. I believe this is monthly in terms of monthly data. So this is the original data set that they have in the original paper for modeling Bitcoin scarcity. And this would be for your project. On your report, attach a graph of historical BTC prices and new blocks. Each of these are in the data. So this is how you create those charts. And if you're going to add it to the Word document, you could just drag it over. You don't have to take a screenshot or anything like that. So in the next video, we'll go over the actual supply of Bitcoin and how to model that, and we'll continue on with the project.